All right, welcome back. I don't know what happened on the last one. I'm just all of a sudden my preview laptop on the side says, "Hey, your broadcast has ended." Not according to OBR, it hasn't. Still streaming, but for some reason, YouTube just stops receiving. So anyway, here, let's continue here. So what he has been talking about is using this light path to assign two different um, objects, two different textures, backgrounds, one for the reflections and one for uh, the lighting, I guess. So that is what we're going to continue on with now.
Camera sees, basically. So if I do is camera ray, put that in the surface, you can see, okay, the background turns white. That's because the camera sees the background, right? So if I do something like this glossy ray, or we'll do is reflection ray rather, you can see now our reflection turns white, but our background turns black. Now,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
this is very, kind of complicated ray tracing stuff that's happening here. This is just a utility node that we can use with what we're going to use next, which is going to be a mix shader. So I'm going to add shader, and then we'll do mix shader. I'm going to plug this in.
Add shader, mix shader, mix shader. Man, yeah, this is getting complicated.
Plug this in, and then
All right, so background into shader. Okay.
what we can do here is do is reflection.
Oh, okay. And then this into shadow. All right. Mix shader. All
Just
right.
do is camera ray actually. Plug that in, and then plug that in the output.
Oh, wait, did I grab the right one? His doesn't have a bar up here.
What we're going to use
Oh,
next,
wait,
which is going to
I
be
know
mix
why it
shader. So
doesn't
we'll
have
add
a bar
shader, and
because...
we'll do mix shader. We're going to plug
Okay,
this in.
so...
Plug this in, and then what we can do here is do is reflection. We'll just do is camera ray actually.
All right, is camera ray goes to that? Okay. Ooh, what the heck did I just do there? Oh, that's neat. No idea what that was, but okay. That looked cool. All right, let's kind of organize these a bit as best we can. All right.
Plug that in, and then plug that in the outputs.
And then this goes into outputs. Okay, so yeah, let's check this out. Oh, I see. Yeah, you can see the reflections of the building right there. Rather sharp, much sharper than you do the background, and it maintains all the lighting. That's very cool. Complicated, but okay. So this top one is controlling the blade, or rather, shader. Is camera ray, background. Okay. Surface. Okay, well I don't remember. I mean, I know this top one is controlling the blade, and this bottom one's controlling the background, but I don't remember how it plugged into here. I think it said which one was which here. Anyway, looks cool.
And then we're going to go ahead and move this up a little bit so we can see this. We'll just do right here to make this a little bit easier. Expand this so we can get a full view of this. There we go. So you can see here now we have the reflection going into one, the blurred background going into the other, and then we have the is camera ray holding that as a mask. So now we can get nice sharp reflections, and we get that nice blurry background, which looks really cinematic. Great. So next we're going to apply the color grade, which is going to give us this blue hue. So color grade is one of the best ways to get our CG renders out of like this fake CG world and into a cinematic world. 100% of our cinematics at CG Fast Track, the trailers that we do, we put color grades on them, and they're a really good way to really amp up the render. So far we've played with the layout tab, we've played with the UV editing tab, the shading tab. Now we're going to do one more, which is going to be the compositing tab. So I'm going to go ahead and just close this menu right here, just N. And so we're going to take a look at the compositing node. So I'm going to just hit this button called Use Nodes. And what we get is these two nodes right here. We have one render layers and then one composite. So what are we looking at here? This looks very, very similar to the shading editor that we've been playing with. But essentially what we have here is our render, and then we can apply 2D operations on top of this. So you can think of this as like a post process. I'm going to go ahead and just do another render. So I'll do render image. And then we'll have the blurry background there. And then now you'll see, okay, that's going to show up here. But we have no really way.
Oh, okay. Render image. Okay. And then did that show up there? No. Why didn't it show up there? Why does mine not show where his does?
No good way of displaying the composite right now. So let's go ahead and set up the interface to be able to do that. I'm going to drag this down, drag this over, and then right click on this part right here, and then do vertical split. So right click, vertical split. It's being a little buggy on me. I think it's my screen.
All right, vertical split.
recorder if I'll do. Yep, there we go. So right click vertical split. There we go. Now we have two node networks. But what we do with one of these is set this up to display our render, and the other one for our nodes. I'll go up here to our editor type menu. We can switch out what we're going to display here. And we have things like the 3D view, image editor, all these other things. What we want is the image editor. That is the same window that pops up whenever you hit render. And then what we do is choose what.
Okay. What did he just do there?
And the other one for our notes, I'll go up here to our editor type menu. We can switch out.
Editor. Ah, okay. Image editor? Yeah.
What we're going to display here. And we have things like the 3D view, image editor, all these other things. What we want is the image editor. That is the same window that pops up whenever you hit render. And then what we do is choose what image that we're going to look at. And the image that we're going to look at is the rendered result. And there we go.
Okay, so view, is that where he just was? Okay, so let's go see
now we can
what
scroll
he was
up and
just
down
talking about.
And we have things like the 3D view, image editor, all these other things. What we want is the image editor. That is the same window that pops up whenever you hit render. And then what we do is choose what image that we're going to look at.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Render result. There we go.
Yeah, and the image that we're going to look at is the rendered result. And there we go. Now we can scroll up and down. We can middle mouse, all of that good stuff. And same thing over here. Middle mouse, scroll up and down. And then we only need one node in here. What we're going to do is going to add color, and then we'll do color balance. So color balance.
All right, add color balance. Color balance. Okay. Oh, look, there's the image now. It popped in there. Cool.
This is a really, really awesome tool to do color grading. What we're going to do is just pick a couple of colors. And what that means is basically we want to, if we're using orange for our highlights, we want to do blue for the background. So orange is over here on the color wheel, and then blue's over here. So we want to slam some blue in the dark values. So this is going to be dark values.
Interesting. Okay, so you just want to go opposites, it seems. Like I'm not very familiar, not familiar at all with color gradients and color wheel and stuff like that. So he said if the highlights are orange, well, his highlights are orange, mine are red, so I probably would want to go for a more of a lighter blue. Well, that doesn't look very light. Oh, whoa, that's way too bright. Okay, let's leave that at like a 50% value. That's way too much. Okay, hang on.
There's going to be midtones and these are going to be highlights. We want to go really saturated in the dark tones over here with blue. And a little bit more, we can shift these around a little bit. The midtones maybe a little bit more turquoise. Get some variation happening there. I like this.
Midtones? Okay, well, let's go, a little bit lighter, more on the blue side. I want it to contrast with the, that looks okay. Maybe a bit lighter, except I don't want it so green. I mean, I want it blue, but not quite so dark of blue. Okay, wait, see, then it immediately starts turning green. I don't want it to be green. I want it to be more of a blue. All right, well, let's just leave it at that.
A little bit. So we're, averaging out these out to be blue by, pushing one more towards blue and the other towards.
Okay, so let's see. This one here, which one? He's saying this is, oh, geez. What? He's talking about midtones, high tones, low tones.
A little bit. If we're using orange for our highlights, we want to do blue for the background. So orange is over here on the color wheel, and then blue's over here. So we want to slam some blue in the dark values. So this is going to be dark values. This is going to be midtones. And these are going to be highlights.
Dark values. Okay, midtones. We'll just kind of. Oh, but see, mine doesn't look like his. Like his is light up here, and mine is dark. Mine's just dark all over. Why? And that just washes it out completely.
We want to go really saturated in the dark tones over here with blue. And a little bit more, we can shift these around a little bit. The midtones maybe a little bit more turquoise.
So I'm wondering if this has to do with my camera angles and stuff, because I'm not getting any of the background at all. I wonder why.
Get some variation happening there. I like to split these up.
I mean, it is changing the overall color, but I don't see what else it's doing. And it's definitely not doing a two-tone thing like his is. That is quite annoying. Where's the difference? Why is his doing that and mine is not? Image. His is from image. All
Just
right,
a
let me
little bit.
back up and see.
Choose what image that we're going to look at, and the image that we're going to look at is the rendered result. And there we go. Now we can scroll up and down. We can
Okay, well, hang on. Let's get rid of this because that's kind of where the problem started. So we want rendered image, image. Okay, but you see already that has issues. So what, do I come back to layout? I think so. I think, yeah, because the issue is that I'm looking over there. How did I get that compositing? No, I'm looking for where we had the two cameras. Was that? Oh yeah. Okay, there we are. All right, so let's. Okay, so that'll probably make a difference right there. He's looking at more of a something like that, more straight on, where it's got some of the ground and some of the sky. Okay, so let's try that. Now let's go back over to, what was it, the compositing tab, I think? No.
middle mouse, all of that good stuff. The 3D view, image editor. I'll do. Yep, there we go. So right click, vertical split. There we go. Go ahead and set up the interface to be able to do that. I'm going to drag this down. So you can think of this as like a post process.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and just do another render. So I'll do render image, and then we'll have the blurry background there. And then now you'll see, okay, that's going to show up here. But we have no good way of displaying the composite right now. So let's go ahead and set up the interface to be able to do that. I'm going to drag this down, drag this over, and then right click on this part right here, and then do vertical split. So right click, vertical split.
Oh, okay.
It's being a little buggy on me. I think it's my screen recorder. If I'll do, yep, there we go. So right click, vertical split. There we go. Now we have two node networks. But what we do with one of these is set this up to display our render, and the other one for our notes. So I'll go up here to our editor type menu. We can switch out what we're going to display here. And we have things like the 3D view, image editor, all these other things. What we want is the image editor. That is the same window that pops up whenever you hit render. And then what we can do is choose what image that we're going to look at, and the image that we're going to look at is the rendered result. And there we go. Now we can scroll up and down. We can middle mouse, all of that good stuff. And same thing over here. Middle mouse, scroll up and down. And then we only need one node in here. What we're going to do is we're going to add color, and then we'll do color balance. So color balance is a really, really awesome tool to do color grading. What we're going to do is just stick with complementary colors. And what that means is basically we want to, if we're using orange for our highlights, we want to do blue for the background. So orange is over here on the color wheel, and then blue's over here. So we want to slam some blue in the dark values. So this is going to be dark values. It's going to be tones of these.
See, that's exactly what I was talking about, where why does his have like white up here and darker down here? Two tones. Mine only had one. That's because I was only looking at a wall. His was looking at more of a ground and sky. At a horizon, so that, there we go, that's looking a lot better. Okay, so let's zoom in here, kind of fine tune that. I mean, I already like that a whole lot better. Let's come a little bit more in the not so dark, maybe right there.
This is going to be highlights. We want to go really saturated in the dark tones over here with blue, and a little bit more, we can shift these around a little bit. The midtones maybe a little bit more turquoise, get some variation happening there. I like to split these up a little bit. So we're, average.
Okay, so ooh, okay, well that's not too bad right there. Okay, let's bring it a little bit less. Okay, so this is changing more of the reflection, whereas this one doesn't really change the reflection much. Changes more the background, is what it seems. Okay, hang on, reset that one. I don't want quite so much darkness. I want a little bit lighter there, and then we can go more of a blue.
Out these out to be blue by pushing one more towards blue and the other towards green, which gives it a really cinematic feel. Great, so that's looking awesome. The only thing that we want to do now is really just do our final tweaks. So final tweaks just being, if we go to shading, if we select our blade here and then go to object, and then currently we're not.
Okay, hang on. Shading, object, select the blade.
In the blade glow, so we want to go and select our material slot here. So we'll select that, go to blade glow,
Hang on,
and then we can. Great, so that's looking awesome. The only thing that we want to do now is really just do our final tweaks. So final tweaks just being, if we go to shading.
All right, hang on. Let me make sure to pull up the. I forgot to pull the live stream as a preview, so it may have already failed, and I wouldn't have any idea. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's looking okay. All right. Now, what is he talking about here? Object.
Let's split these up a little bit. So we're averaging out these out to be blue by pushing one more towards blue and the other towards green, which gives it a really cinematic feel. Great, so that's looking awesome. The only thing that we want to do now is really just do our final tweaks. So final tweaks just being, if we go to shading, if we select our blade here and then go to object.
Object, okay. So shading, object, switch that to object.
And then currently we're not in the blade glow, so we want to go and select our material slot here. So we'll select
yeah, I am in the blade glow.
that, go to blade glow, and then we can do our final, If we want to do something like 2000 on the brightness of this, we want to do.
Okay, I
do
know
our final
what
tweaks
he's
here.
messing with.
And then we'll just go back over to compositing, and then we'll just go back over here to render image. You can also just use F12 hotkey, and there we go. So that's gonna be a lot.
Okay.
So at this point, just some tips for camera composition.
What tab is he on? Composition? Yes. Okay. I mean, I like that. I'd rather it be maybe at a different angle. So layout, let's move the camera more around, like to the side, I think I would want. But then I come in here to shading. Where's that background one where I can move the background? Oh, world. Okay. And now I can rotate that to be behind it as well. So we're looking at that kind of an angle, and I would want to move that back around to there so that the composition, all right, re-render a new image, render image. Okay, I like that, except maybe not quite so blue anymore. Let's kind of back off on these a bit just to leave more color in the blade, or rather less color in the blade, because it's really turning the blade blue. And right there, that looks good right there. Okay.
What we can do is go back over to the layout tab, and if we just select our camera, just some general tips. If we go to our object properties right here, what I would do is keep the location of our X just at 0. That's going to keep things nice and symmetrical. We can keep Y at 0 as well. And then, something like this, Z and Y, then we can play around with like Y or our X rotation there. That's just going to keep things nice and symmetrical. And then what we can do is, after we do our render, all we have to do is image, save as here, and then save anywhere we want. I'm just going to do our, render version 1. I'm just going to do save image. And then I'm just going to do a couple more different compositions. So I'll go to layout, and then I'll go ahead and move this in, just like so. And then we'll frame that up. I'm going to go ahead and move this down a little bit, maybe rotate this up a little bit so we're looking up at the sword a little bit, something right in there. Maybe a little bit more rotation.
Okay.
Something right
I get what he's saying. So I need to come down on the camera a bit. Pull. No. That's not what I wanted. Oh, wait. I undid too far. Redo. Okay, so that right there. Except I want it to be that one. There we go. Okay, so let me back off a little bit. Not quite that much. Okay, so I'm going to have to do this over here. I want that to be moved. Grab just a little bit back. So it's just in frame. Perfect. Okay, so now render image. Okay, that's looking good. And it's too much blue. The blue at the bottom is just too much. It's washing it out. Okay, composition. So, oh wait, that didn't save. Why didn't it keep that? Okay, we want it a little bit more here. Bring it back towards the middle. Okay, let's bring you back towards the middle. No, I want it a little more green. Oh, that looks okay right there. You can get some nice contrast on it. And then what did he do to save the image out?
Just like so. And then we'll frame that up. What we have to do is image, save as here.
Okay. Image, save as. Okay. See, I'm liking that. That's cool. All right. Let's go preview 1. Save as image. Okay, and I'm liking the how you can come up here. No. Stop messing with that one. All right, you can come up here, kind of zoom in a bit. I like how you can control the camera from here. That's really nice. Okay, so let's come over here to composition, render image, let that take in. Oh, that looks so good. All right, that I am liking that. Save as, preview 2. Okay, save as image. All right, and then if I want something more along the whole length like that, yeah, that looks good right there. Okay, now I want to back out just a little bit. Perfect. Okay, now over here, slide that back in a little bit. How would I rotate. I want to rotate. Well, I'm not going to mess with it, okay? Let's just leave it as is. Render image. Come back over here to composition. I like the looks of that right there. That is so nice. Save as. Preview 3. Okay. Let's
And then
continue.
save anywhere we want. I'm just going to do our render version 1. I'm just going to do save image. And then I'm just going to do a couple more different compositions. So I'll go to layout, and I'll go ahead and move this in, just like so. And then we'll frame that up. I'm going to go ahead and move this down a little bit, maybe rotate this up a little bit so we're looking up at the sword a little bit, something right in there. Maybe a little bit more rotation. Something
Oh,
like
I
that.
forgot I
And then
could
we'll just
do
go
the
ahead and go
rotation
to
like that.
render
That
image.
would have been handy.
And that's going to be thrown through our compositor. So go back to my compositing tab here, and I'll just do image, save as. Then I'll just do render version 2. And you can see how quickly we can just iterate with doing it now,
Yeah.
different versions. And I'll just do one more here by zooming in here and then moving this up somewhere right in there. So just a general composition, the rule thirds, that's something I talk about a lot in the art of lighting. What I'm looking at here is this guard is going to be like that hero piece. So I try to keep that either in the top third or the bottom third, either right here or right here in the composition. And again, if you're not familiar with composition, that's totally fine. You don't need to for this one. It's definitely something you want to get good at longer term, which we do go over in the art of lighting. I'm going to do another render, so render image, and then we'll go ahead and save that out. Just go to compositor, and then image, save as, and then we'll do version 3. And that's going to wrap that up. So be sure to hashtag your stuff on social media. We check Instagram every day. We love looking at all your guys' renders, so be sure to do that. And we'll go ahead and start laying out the cave environment in the next chapter.
Okay, so I am going to share these over to socials. Let me just pop those in. Let me Control O just to double check things. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So I'm going to share Forgotten Kings, preview 1, 2, 3. Bam. There we go. Okay, now back over here. Let us continue the series.
So this is where we're going to take our cinematic render and we're going to integrate our environment and put the sword into the stone. Before we do that, we're going to get to know some
Put the
online
sword in the
resources.
stone,
And this
okay.
becomes super crucial. You want to integrate these as soon as possible. For me, when I first started, I always talk about this David versus Goliath analogy. And I talk about this a lot because, as a beginner, your goal is really most commonly to make games, to make movies, whatever it may be. You want to do really high quality work and you want to share it with the world. That's usually the goal that we're trying to achieve here. Now, it is in our nature as 3D artists to want to take ownership of every single thing within our scene. And for me, I was very, very guilty of this when I first started. And it was a really big problem because it took me a really, really long time to get away from this. And essentially, if we take a look at my demo reel here, you can see, in my demo reel, I credit, what I did to the job. And basically, just looking at a shot like this, there's a dozen different people working on this. There is a character animation team, there's a lighting team, there's an effects animation team, there's going to be supervisors, directors, all these different people contributing to this. So when you're first starting out, it really is a David versus Goliath situation because in order for you to get a job or do high quality work, you're just yourself and, you're competing against feature film teams or AAA teams or whatever it may be. So it becomes hyper crucial to start utilizing online resources, which is what we're going to talk about now. So I have a ton of different resources that I use on a regular basis. The first one's going to be textures.com. There's some free resources on each one of these sites, so you don't have to pay for them or anything. I'm not affiliated with any of these sites. This is just sites I use regularly. There's some free stuff on this website, the 3d.textures.me. This is a completely free resources for textures. There's a ton of really good PBR materials. It's a little bit hard to find things sometimes, but it's a really good free resource. We have HDR Labs. We talked a bit about this before in Minecraft. And basically, HDRI is lighting your environment, right? So we talked about those. SIDL is another really great resource for HDRIs. Givebash 3D. So this isn't a free website, but they often do have these free kits. They do, environments, worlds, all that stuff. And it's really, really great because just like the sword and stone scene, we're going to build our hero asset, which is going to be the sword, and then you can put it into environments that you utilize those online resources. So you want to focus on those primary elements, those story elements, and then integrate online resources whenever you can around that. Another great resource is going to be mixedmode.com. So it's going to be what we're going to be using for our character integration. It's really awesome. You just pick, very generic characters. You have your basic, mocap animation. It's really, really good for like secondary elements, background characters. So if you notice in the cinematic, she's always lifting the back and she's always in shadow. Those kind of things. You don't necessarily use your hero assets for this, although you might be able to get away with that. Another really good one is going to be Megascans. So Megascans is mostly known for doing rocks, basically photogrammetry around the world. They have a ton of free stuff as well that you can just get started with.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead and get started
Liking the
next
sounds
with
of all
our rocket that we're going to integrate here. And this is going to be included in the kit. So it's going to be all in the download, so you don't have to download this from an online resource. We're going to use this in the next chapter. So to summarize what we want to do, usually what you want to do is focus on your hero elements, really customize those, really make those unique to your story that you're going to tell, and then utilize your 3 elements, your 3 online resources for all the secondary elements, which
That
specifically
makes
is in the
sense.
rocket. So we're going to start integrating our
Okay, so I need to get some of these textures that he's talking about.
rocket kit. So to bring any data from any other package, being
Okay, so I need to now review what he just said in order to get those online resources. Okay.
usually the goal that we're trying to achieve here. Now, it is in our nature as 3D artists to want to take ownership of every single thing within our scene. And for me, I was very, very guilty of this when I first started, and it was a really big problem because it took me a really, really long time to get away from this. And essentially, if we take a look at my demo reel here, you can see, in my demo reel, I credit, what I did to the job. And basically, just looking at a shot like this, there's a dozen different people working on this. There's a character animation team, there's a lighting team, there's an effects animation team, there's going to be supervisors, directors, all these different people contributing to this.
Yep.
So when you're first starting out, it really is a David versus Goliath situation because in order for you to get a job or do high quality work, you're just yourself and, you're competing against feature film teams or AAA teams or whatever it may be. So it becomes hyper crucial to start utilizing online resources, which is what we're going to talk about now.
Yes.
So I have a ton of different resources that I use on a regular basis. The first one's going to be textures.com. There's some free resources on each one of these sites, so you don't have to pay for them or anything. I'm not affiliated with any of these sites. This is just sites I use regularly. There's some free stuff on this website, the 3d.textures.me. This is a completely free resources for textures. There's a ton of really good
Very
PDF materials.
interesting
It's a little bit hard to find
textures
things
they've got
sometimes, but
even
it's a really
just
good free
right
resource.
there.
And HDRI Labs, talked a bit about this before in
Okay.
Minecraft. And basically, HDRI is
yeah.
lighting your environment, right? So we talked about those. SIDL is another really great resource for
Yep.
HDRIs. GitBash 3D. So this isn't a free website, but they often do have these free kits. They do, environments, worlds, all that stuff. And it's really, really great because just like the Sword and Stone scene, we're going to build our hero asset, which is going to be the sword, and then you can put it into environments that you utilize those online resources. So you want to focus on those primary elements, those story elements, and then integrate online resources whenever you can around that.
Yes.
Another great resource is going to be mixamo.com. So this is going to be what we're going to be using for our character integration. It's really awesome. You just pick, very generic characters. You have your basic, mocap animation. It's really, really good for like secondary elements, background characters. So if you notice in the cinematic, she's always lit from the back and she's always in shadow. Those kind of things. You don't necessarily use your hero assets for this, although you might be able to get away with that. Another really good one is going to be Megascans. So Megascans is mostly known for doing rocks, basically photo imagery around the world. They have a ton of free stuff as well that you can just get started with. And
That's
we're going to go ahead and
probably
get started
where we're
next
gonna
with
find
our
what I
rocket that we're going to integrate here. And this is going to be included in the kit. So it's going to be all in the downloads, so you don't have to download this from an online resource. We're going to use this in the next chapter. So to summarize around the world, they have a ton of free stuff as well.
So Kixel.com, Megascans. Okay. Kixel.com, Megascans. All right, let's go here. Kixel. Interesting. Ooh, very pretty. I do like a mountain scene environment. Oh, well, I'm equally as much a sci-fi fan, so... Okay, let's see. Oh, come on, shut up. Browse Megascans. Okay, yeah, there we go. Megascans, plant surfaces, 3D assets, building, industrial, interior, nature, bone, debris, rock. There we go, rock. Okay, cool. So this will definitely come in handy. I was just thinking for my main project, something like this right here would be great as far as what I'm trying to do. So this is perfect. I'm really glad that he shared these. Yes. I need something. Let's see. So he's taking...
Well, that you can just get started with. And we're going to go ahead and get started next with our rocket that we're going to integrate.
Okay, these kind of rocks. So I need 3 different kinds of rocks and a plane. So not necessarily gemstone, sand, scatter, massive sandstone cliff. Well, that sounds massive, but don't quite need that. Small sandstone. Let's just do these 3 right here, just because. Sign into download. Of course, they're gonna 4 points. What is that? Sign into download. Of course, you got to create. Well, if I'm gonna be doing these kind of things, might as well. Let me blank things out. I'll be right back. Oh, sign in. Oh, I gotta register. I'm here trying to do the sign-in part, and I haven't even registered. Sign up with email. November. Da da da. 3. Da da da. Gryffindor 1. All right, password. Kicks. Oh, okay, there it is. Copy. No, I do not want to receive news. Read and agree. Blah blah blah. Never. Get an email code. Jeez. 345. Use Quixel with Epic Games. I don't know why they would have them linked, but okay, fine. Okay, completing. Add. Okay, here we are. Agree to content license, of course. Jeez, choose a plan. Unreal Engine, before. Okay. I hate these kind of things because then, oh, well, 6 months from now, you're suddenly getting charged for. No, I did not want that. 6 months from now, you start getting charged for things that you didn't even realize you had signed up for. Yeah, I don't like those. Points. What are these points things? Do we got unlimited points to be doing? Where was that rock? Here. 4K. Massive. 3D assets. Yeah, looking like. Texture. Interesting. Download settings. What? There. Didn't I just sign up? Free. I already did. I already did that part. Okay, assets, come on. Nature, rock. There, download. Okay, nature, rock, save. I want that one also. And, oh, well, no, that's not the one that I was wanting. I was wanting these three. Oh, well, I got a massive sandstone cliff now. Okay. 2 massive sandstone cliffs. Oh, those are totally not the ones that I was wanting. Okay. Wait, nature, rock. Are they both? They can't be the same name. Close-up block. No. Oh, okay, I see. There's the other one popping in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we got the rocks there. So now I would need maybe a plane, like a ground, instead of just rocks. Ah, perfect. Something like that. Tundra rocky ground. That would look okay, I think. Okay. Now we need to go and unzip all of these. Once this one is done, won't take long. Come on. These are really nice though. I'm liking having these here, and at least so far it seems to be free, so that should be pretty nice. Alright, over here we have, let's do date. I wonder, can I do all of these at once? Extract all. Extract. Nice. Okay, did that actually do that? Or no, it just did the bottom one. Dang it. Okay, so VG Dizimois. No, I just did that one. Okay. Extract. Well, it should be the last 3 I got. So it should be this one here too. And then those other 2. Oh, well, I got 3. I wonder if I can see which ones. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nature rock. Oh, and they got the textures on them too. That's cool. And they're submaps. Nice. Okay. Nature rock. Okay, so that's the ground. And then that's the other rock I got. Okay. So yeah, those 3 will be fine. I'm not going to undo the other 3. Okay, so now that I've got some assets for that, let's come back to here and you there. Okay, let's see what happens.
And this is going to be included in the kit. So it's going to be all in the download, so you know the downloads from all the new stars. We're going to use this in the next chapter. So to summarize, what we want to do, usually what you want to do is focus on your hero elements, really customize those, really make those unique to your story that you're going to tell, and then utilize your 3D elements, your 3D online resources for all the secondary elements, which specifically here is going to be our rock kit. So we're going to start integrating our rock kit. So to bring any data from any other package, being geometry, what we're going to do is use this either import or append menu. Append is going to be for Blender files. Import's going to be for other things like FBX, OBJ are going to be the most common ones that you download from like online resources.
Okay.
But this is already going to be all prepped for us, and it's already going to be a Blender file. So in our downloads, there's going to be this rocks. So we'll go in there. There's going to be two different versions. There's going to be high res. There's going to be a low res. So the high res has 4K textures. Low res has 1K textures. So if you're on a slower computer, grab the low one because it's substantially faster if you don't have a high-end graphics card. I'm going to stick with the high version. And even the low isn't bad quality or anything. It's still pretty high, still pretty detailed. So I'm going to grab the high, hit append, and then what I'm going to do is go to, if you've never seen this before, which you probably haven't, this is going to be the inside of a Blender file. So we just reached inside the Blender file and we can grab stuff. So we're not importing the whole Blender file, we're only importing pieces of it. I'm going to go to collections, which we're going to talk about in a bit, and then choose rocks. So the last two steps things we have to talk about the outliner, which is what we're going to talk about next chapter. For now, I'm just going to choose rocks and then hit append. And there we go. So we'll import it. I'm already in rendered mode, so it's going to take a little bit. It's because it's going to load my textures.
Oh,
if you see this
It's
take a
not
really
all
long time to
through.
load your textures, it's probably a good sign you want to go with a smart or the low res objects. And there we go. So now I can just lower.
Okay, so let's go back over to layout, over here in this scene, and let's try to import my rocks, which, yeah, I don't know. What kind of a file are they? Okay, so let's do preview, vsub, I don't know what kind of a file they are. View details, JPEG. Okay, 3D object, but what's their dot? It doesn't show the dots. Okay, so import, I don't even know what, wow. What would you import it as? Properties, there. 3D object, oh, .fbx, okay. There we go. Import pencil object FBX. Perfect. Okay. Forgotten Kings. Okay, Nature Rock. There we go. Now, what's the difference between all of these? I don't know. Okay, well, they're all 3D objects. Load 1, 3, 4, 5. Let's just try 0. Oh, okay. Now, what's the difference between import FBX number 5? Okay, what's the difference? A little bit of texturing, it looks like. Huh, very interesting. Import, let me just do a mid-range one, FBX 3. Okay, so I'm still not seeing any real difference between these three. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. I'm kind of liking the looks of that other one though. So this one here seems to have the best graphics. So that's number 5. Okay, I can scale that up and down as much as I need, I guess. I'm not going for anything super high resolution here. I'm just trying to get more of a learning. So let's import FBX. Let's come out of there. So that is the Vim illegal. Okay, so this is the VGOUD. Let's do that one. Let's try the 5. Oh, perfect. Here's my ground. Z. Let's drop that down. So there's my ground texture. And then import FBX. Let's try that third one. And the 5 on that as well. Ooh, wow, that is a super tiny one. Scale that up. Okay, so this is, I think he had 3 rocks. 3 different rocks? Yeah. So let me unpack one more. And okay, so date modified. We got these 3 here, and I think let's do this one. Yeah, VGOW, Vim illegal, and the VD5. Yes. Okay. So, oh wait, VD5 SABV. Yes. Okay. So this one here should be the other rock we got, and those last 2 are the big cliff face that I don't really need at this point. Or at least it doesn't appear as though I'll need it. So, all right. So now import FBX, pop up a level, date modified. It'll probably be Yes, this one. And then let's do the number 5 on that. And same thing. Scale way the heck up because these are more like pebble size, not the big rock size that I'm needing. Okay, so there's my assets. Let's continue.
Put this down so that we, it's going to be below my sword scene. I'm going to go ahead and just scale this. So I'm going to hit S and then scale this down. And there we go. We can start laying stuff out. I'm going to just grab a couple of them just to give you a tour of these. So we have, a big chunk and then a big chunk over here. And this one's really good for just like angular pieces, specifically the sword and the stone. I'm going to also move the camera back just a bit so we can see the full sword right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and move this over like this. And I want to bring this down like this. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this down. Just get the flat surface up top like this. And then bring this in and scale this.
Oh, it doesn't have any texture mapping.
Somewhere right in there. And again, this part is going to be really creative. It's going to be really up to you. Feel free to try to follow me exactly. I'll have this final project in the downloads as well. So
okay, so let's take you, move you up on the z-axis to right about there. Should be fine. Scale you a bit bigger. Move you kind of over there. Use that one as my main centerpiece. Let's bring you down on the z-axis so that you're just on the ground, just like that. That's looking nice. Okay, let's see what else he does.
And see these exact transform values. You can always do that as well. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter. You can utilize or kind of just use your own artistic judgment and to use what I'm doing for inspiration and go off that. So we have our first rock, so that's looking pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay these out, just 2 of them in the back. Something like this.
Okay. So if I'm wanting, the camera is looking, all right, let's pull this back so that I can figure out like what's my front angle, which right there looks to be a good shot. Okay, so now back over here, I like this 2-pane working part where you can work over here and see the image over there. That is super handy. Loving that. Move you. I kind of want you. Where's the camera? Okay, so let's work from this angle. I want you larger and stacked more over here. Okay. That's looking all right. Bring you down just a bit. Maybe rotate. No, that's not what I wanted. Rotate a little bit. Kind of hug that in there. Yeah, I'm just trying to position the rocks to kind of look like they fell there. Let's rotate a little bit better. Okay, that's looking okay. And then this one here, scale that up again. Move you over here. Rotate. Oh, wait. That'll fit nicely. Move you that way. Okay. Move you down a bit. Down a lot. Alright, so probably seeing how that fits in there. Maybe something like that. Yeah, that fits nicely just like that. Because it's got this kind of concave area underneath of there. Okay, so there's that. I'm liking that. That looks good. Okay. I don't like that they don't have textures on them, but I'll work on that. That's just things to be improved upon. But that's looking cool. All right, let's continue with the video.
And I'm just going to get 2 going for now, and then we're going to talk about the outliner next. So just move this back here. And again, when you're moving around these big scenes, really take advantage of the Q frame selected for that. It'll really help you get around. So I'm going to leave it right there. And then the next chapter, we're going to start talking about the outliner, which is what this is up here. So our outliner, let's talk about this right here. And we haven't talked about this, and this is a big part of Blender, but it doesn't really come necessary until you start doing bigger scenes and get away with not using it for quite some time. And basically what it is a list of view of our 3D scene. So we have all of our 3D objects right here. Every single one of these, the camera, the lights over here, we are going to see over here. And what you see here is if I select my camera, you see, okay, we got a camera right there. If I select my light, we have our light right there. If I select a rock, we can scroll down and there's going to be our rock. So it's a list of view of our 3D scene. Why is this important? Well, mostly for organizational purposes, and there's some renderable properties as well as rigging. The 2 that we're going to focus on right now is mostly rendering and organization. So let's talk about just what we're seeing in here. At the very top, we have our scene collection. This is going to be the group of the world. And then underneath, we have another collection, then we have another collection. So what are these collections? You can really just think of them as groups. We talked a little bit about that in the last chapter where we went into the collections. So we can think about those as just groups for things that live inside of our 3D scene. And next up, we're going to have our object. So the white icons over here are going to be collections, and then the orange ones are going to be our objects. So every single one of these orange ones are going to be inside of our 3D scene. And then we got some stuff over here. These are just going to say modifiers. So we have that wrench, which is, if we select this right here, we have that wrench right here. You notice how there's not a wrench right there, but if we go up here, there is a wrench. That means there is modifiers. So if we select one of these, it'll just jump straight to the modifiers.
I'm going to make this world. And then move these guys. Can I just drag? Haha, I can. Okay. So you are sword and you are world. That is exactly what he was talking about. Okay.
We also have this little green icon here. So if we click on this little green icon here, if we expand this, we'll see, okay, these are just going to hold like material properties and all that. You can see this little green icon right here. So things like normals, things like that, those are all going to be here. For the most part, we can ignore that one for the most part. And then we have our eye icon right here. So this blue one, this green one, I don't really use those very much. The ones that I use the most over here are going to be this eye icon. And this is how we hide things. So if I want to, select my blade right here,
Yes.
just like that, what I can do is hide it over here. Just
So
like
if we
or I
want
can
to
use, H1 on the
hide
keyboard to hide.
the
Select
sword
H,
entirely.
hide, undo that. And then
Okay.
the big thing that we want to get to know as well is
Hide
going to be the renderable icon. So if I do something like this where I hide my blade right here, and then I do render image, we'll see here that that blade still shows up in the render. Why is that? Well, viewport visibility and render visibility are two different things. And we can find...
Okay, so hang on. This would be better. Cylinder, 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 cube, blade. Okay, so just randomly, this is, what is this, guard? This is what he's talking about organization. You want to, when you get into massive scenes, you want to be able to control all this. This is pommel, I think. Oh, grip. Grip. I don't know what that's. Pommel. I don't know what the pommel is. And what is that one? Counterweight. Alright. So that's your blade, camera, and your overall sword. Okay. Cool. Oh. Oh, because my light and camera are in there as well. See, the light disappears when I hide that. Okay.
in this up here in our render restriction. So click this little dialog box up here. This is going to be our filter menu. A lot of stuff in here, if we don't want to display certain things or whatever it may be, we can display, just objects or whatever, just lights, all that. We don't want to necessarily be overwhelmed by all this stuff. What we want is this little button right up here, which is going to be render filters. So we have our eye visibility, we have our checkbox visibility, and we have our render visibility. All three of these highlighted icons right here are going to show up right here. So we have our checkbox, we have our eye, and we have our camera icon. So the checkbox is going to be turned off completely. It's not hiding it, it's turning off it completely, which means
Oh, okay. Hang on. Did he select something that I missed? Because I don't have a checkbox.
Filter menu. A lot of stuff in here, if we don't want to display certain things or whatever it may be, we can display, just objects or whatever, just lights, all that. We don't want to necessarily be overwhelmed by all this stuff. What we want is this little button right up here, which is going to be render filters. So we have our eye visibility, we have our checkbox visibility, and we have our render visibility.
Okay. Filters. Disable in renders. Hold out. What? Hang on, I got to make that bigger to see what he's talking about.
All three of these highlighted icons right here are going to show up right here. So we have our checkbox, we have our eye.
But I don't have a checkbox. Why do I not have a checkbox? It's got the render visibility. Disable in viewports. Is that not what he's... Indirect only. Hang on.
We have our camera icon. Necessarily be over and render visibility are two different things. And we can find this up here in our render restriction. So we click this little dialog box up here. This is going to be our filter menu. A lot of stuff in here, if we don't want to display certain things or whatever it may be, we can display, just objects or whatever, just lights, all that.
Mine's
We
already
don't want to
on.
necessarily be overwhelmed by all this stuff. What we want is
Collections, objects, all. Yep. Okay. Exact match. Case sensitive. Yeah, mine is matching his pretty closely. It's slightly different. So where? Oh, there's the checkbox. Okay, it's slightly different layout than what his has. Okay.
this little button right up here, which is going to be render filters. So we have our eye visibility, we have our checkbox visibility, and we have our render visibility. All three of these highlighted icons right here are going to show up right here. So we have our checkbox, we have our eye, and we have our camera icon. So the checkbox is going to be turned off completely. It's not hiding it, it's turning off it completely, which means it's not going to interact with anything we're seeing, including viewport visibility and render visibility. We have our icon, which is just, viewport visibility, and then we have our camera right here. So if I select my cube, which is my blade right here, and hide those, what I'm going to get here is, now it's not going to be visible at all, which is what we want. So before we move forward, what we can do is just clean up the scene, which is what we're going to do in the next chapter.
Okay.
So this outline right now is really messy, and if we middle mouse up and down, we can go down to see all that we have here. And basically, we can't really tell what these things are. We have cube, we have cylinder, and this is not a too terrible thing. But as the scene gets bigger, we're going to use this outliner more and more, which means we want to clean this up. So we should be able to know and find things in here very easily. So I'm going to drag this down. What I'm going to do here is just select each one of these. So we have my blade right here. We have our guard, we have our handle, all this stuff. We want to group all these into a collection. So we can create a collection by using this button at the top right corner, new collection. If we just click it, it's going to kind of create it wherever we want, which we don't want to do. What we're going to do is select scene selection right here, or scene collection, and then hit new collection, which will essentially parent that new collection, which is going to be this right here, to our scene collection, which is going to be the world. So I'll double click this, and I'll just call this sword. And what I want to do now is drag everything into this. So I click my cylinder, drag and drop. So I can either, I can just estimate that, if I click here, I can see this currently in my viewport. So I'm going to click and drag all of these in here. One by one by one. And now I have the ability to shut off my sword or turn it on, right? Shut off my rocks, turn it on. And then as well as my camera and light, which is right here. And then what we want to do here is just double click on each one of these. I'm going to double click on this one, call it blade, and then just go down. This one's going to be our guard. This one's going to be our handle. This one's going to be our palm mount. And I'm just going to call this palm mount 1. And then palm mount 2. There we go. So now everything's going to be cleaned up, which means we're going to be ready to start duplicating this around and making the scene a bit bigger in the next chapter. So we're going to continue working on our environment, and what we're going to do now is take our rock kit and start laying out the rocks. And something I just want to mention really quick is that basically if we're not seeing it in the camera, we don't have to worry about it. And that's something for me I made a huge mistake on first, not even just the first time I started doing 3D, but years and years to come. And what I learned was it's best to always set up your camera first. So just like we did in the series, we set up our camera first, we lined up the composition, and then we started building the environment around that. That's super crucial going down the road. So before we start duplicating these rocks, we're going to talk about duplicate linked. So if I click on this and then right click and go duplicate linked right here, this is going to be an instance. And what an instance is not necessarily a full duplicate of an object, but it's a reference to an object. So if I, Minecraft, we would do Shift D, that is a straight copy, copy and paste. Duplicate linked is an instance, and that's a 3D terminology that we use to define things that are referenced to each other. The benefit of this is that it's going to keep our scene nice and light. So the rock kit alone is about 11 megabytes. If we were to duplicate this around a scene a bunch of times, this would quickly get into like 200, 300 megabyte file, which would be really big. And it's going to be really heavy on the render as well. So duplicate linked is going to be an instance, which means it's not going to actually create any new geometry. It's just going to create a new transform value. And the new transform value is just going to be all this data right here. So just this data right here is very lightweight, whereas the actual mesh of the object is actually really heavy. You can notice here, whenever I select this and go into edit mode, we're now editing both of them at the same time, right?
Okay.
So duplicate link. So I'm going to keep doing that. That's going to be Alt D for the shortcut. So now we're going to continue to use Alt D, and then.
So I'm actually going to bring in that last one of these cliff files. So let me extract both of these, and I just want to see what they look like if I set them behind here. I can see how people will have lots and lots of assets sitting around after they get them for one project and then may or may not use them. Okay, so FBX, let's come up. What would it be? So the VMHJ is this one. Yep, let's do the number 5. Oh, okay, see now that's a proper rock face. These other things were just, wow, tiny. Okay, so that one's nice. Let's bring in this other one just because I want to see what it looks like. Okay, so VMHJ and then VMOC. Yes, number 5. Okay, so again, looking pretty nice. It's got an interesting inset there, concavity to it. Actually, you know what? I just thought of. I like. I'm going to get rid of this one, but I like something about this, and I'm going to put this over here, kind of drop it down on the Z, and I want to see if I can position that on the X. I want to move it over, put it up right up on that ledge there. That would be pretty sweet. And I might even actually just get rid of that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. And then just move this up to fill that. Okay, all right, that looks really good. And then you got your whole scene right there. Okay, I like that. I'm not quite sure why it doesn't have the... Okay, which one do I want? VMOC. Oh, you then would have to apply a different texture. Okay. Preview. Okay. LD4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if I'm using the 5. Okay. I see. So now I need to follow the other steps that he was talking about before in order to actually apply the textures to these, because we got the texture maps here, and these are interesting. These are the sublayer, I guess. But let's see if I can remember how to do this. Texture, rendering, composition, no. Layout. How did he do apply the texture? Texture paint? Oh. That is very interesting. Oh, I can paint that. Oh. Okay, probably not what I'm wanting to see though. I don't remember the steps in how, not the UV editing. Oh, what is all that though? Is that for the stone, I guess? The rock I have selected? Yeah. Very interesting. But I need to figure out, where did I link? I linked that image for the textures. The blade. Oh, why is that all messed up now? Oh no. What happened? Well, the image seems okay. Render image. Yeah, the image is still fine. Why does it look messed up there? Okay, so where did I link that? View selected. I'm gonna have to go back and watch one of those other. Oh, no. Okay, that's painting, shading. Ah, here we are. Here we are. This is what I want. Rock. I want object. There. Okay, this is what I'm needing. I want add input. Texture. No, not UV map. Texture. There we are. Environment. No. Image. That's what I want. Image texture. Open. And you will be the VMOCD 8K albedo LOD5. 8K albedo LOD5. Let's see what that does. Color into base color. Ah, yes. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, I'm getting it now. Okay, now subsurface. I think these would go in the subsurface, but I don't know. Well, let's just play around and give it a try. Texture. Hello. Texture. Image texture. Open. VMOCD. Normal LOD5. Normal LOD5. And then U into subsurface. Does that break something? Oh, subsurface color, perhaps. It doesn't seem to change anything. Yeah. Okay, but if I do that and then do the no color, non-color, okay, interesting. Not quite sure what that does. Well, it just takes off the color. Okay. So I think I'm gonna leave it as that. That looks okay. I don't really need that. Okay, so that looks good. Now I need to bring in these guys, and this is VD5 RFE, add texture, image, VD5 RFEE. VD5, that one. Albedo 5. Okay. Color to color. Yes. Okay. That did not sound right. All right. Good. VDSAB, add texture, image texture here, open, and I'm looking at the VD5 SABV. So VD there. Albedo 5. Color to base color. Okay. And now you add texture. Come on. Image texture. Open the Vimeagle Albedo 5. Color, base color. Okay. So now we actually have a somewhat colored scene here. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, well, so much for complaining about the lack of texture. I just was not done with it. Okay, layout. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. All right. And then we still have that background piece. Yeah, okay. Oh, very cool. Okay, now back to his video, and let's